Selected parts from the book One Life is Not Enough. Part 24. The Indian community in England was a house divided. Roughly 30% supported the emergency, the rest did not. Several demonstrations were held in front of India House asking for the release of Jayaprakash Narayan and other leaders. India House is located in one of the most prominent parts of London. The demonstrators had specially chosen this venue, being sure that it would get maximum media coverage. During one of the demonstrations, the High Commissioner had to use the back door to avoid being accosted by the demonstrators. All our efforts to contain the hostility of the media failed, particularly after the BBC office in India was asked to close down. Unexpected side effects of the emergency ensued. I used to regularly review books for the New Statesman, a left wing weekly wielding considerable influence. The editor, Anthony Howard, removed my name from the list of reviewers soon after emergency was declared. During the first few months, I did endorse the emergency, although I did not propagate it. Looking back on those melancholy and debilitating weeks, months, and years, I now realize that my professional conduct did me no credit. In November 1975, Congress President D.K. Barua came to London and attended a dinner on 14 November arranged by the well-known Indian businessman Lord Swarajpal. The guests included Michael Foot, Reginald Maudling, Sridath Soni Ramphal, and James Cameron. The Congress President made an appalling speech in which he justified the emergency. His delivery was so poor that the guests made no attempt to hide their boredom. I personally liked D.K. Barua. He was affable, amusing, and a voracious reader. But he was unacquainted with the British norms and mores. Post-dinner speeches in England are brief and witty. My own speech, to some extent, made up for the damage done by Barua. I include here a brief extract of my speech. 2 days ago, some of us were discussing the arrangements for this dinner. To my horror, I discovered that Mr. Michael Foot would speak earlier than myself. My heart sank. Some years ago, at the United Nations, his elder brother Hugh and I sat in same committee on opposite sides of the fence. It was hard enough dealing with the right foot, but there is no keeping up with the left foot. Mr. Eldon Griffith, Member of Parliament and our chairman tonight, being the shrewd person he is, must have observed the look of agony on my face and asked me, "Is it absolutely necessary for you to speak?" Now, Eldon, that is the kind of question a diplomat like me would love to ask a politician like you. Had this been a purely British function, I would have followed Mr. Griffith's suggestion. Since it is a happy Indo-British occasion, I shall make a compromise. It is well known that functions connected with India in this country never start on time, and having once started never seem to finish. Mr. Griffith has ensured that this function began punctually. It is now left to me to ensure that it does not end punctually. The British are slaves to petty punctuality. No offense meant. We in India suffer from no such handicaps. But when it suits the British, they do not particularly care to look at their clock. For nearly 40 years, Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Nehru, in a polite, non-violent way, kept on reminding the British that it was time for them to go home, but our British friends totally ignored the clock of Indian independence. You will therefore forgive me this evening if I take an extra minute or two of your time. Thank you very much.